Hello and welcome to Rain Francis Art. My name is Rain. Today I'm going to show you how to paint this really cool silhouette painting with acrylic paints. It's based on Little Red Riding Hood and I'm using the Bob Ross style of painting. So let's begin. This is what you'll need for today's painting. I'm using watercolor paper. It's Strathmore watercolor cold press paper, 140 pound, but you can use any canvas that you have that will receive acrylic paint. I also have a little painting palette here. As for paints, I'm using black and white, and these are the pouring or the acrylic paints that you can pour. I got these at the dollar store. And I've also got a little tube of red paint here. The only reason I don't have the dollar store paint is because I ran out of the red color. As for brushes, I'm using just an old, paintbrush. I think this is a one inch paintbrush. And I've got some artist's paintbrush as opposed to painting paintbrushes, painting the wall, painting the canvas. I've got a number 4 round, a number 2 round, and I've got a liner brush. I'm not sure if I'm using all of these or not, but I will put a link in the description below. Not a link, I will put a list in the description below. I have some water to wash off my brushes. I've also got some paper towel, and paper towel is what we're going to use to apply the white, so you definitely need some paper towel for this. I also have some masking tape because I taped off my canvas. So why don't I go ahead and clear things up here. We can get ready to paint. This is going to be very easy to do. This is a Bob Ross method, by the way. I learned this watching his Joy of Painting TV series. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to paint my entire canvas black. So I've got my acrylic paint, my black dollar store paint, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour that onto my page. I hope I don't need any more than that. And I'm taking my old, 1 inch paintbrush and just putting that all across the page. I don't want it to be soaked because then it'll just take forever to dry. But I want to make sure I have enough paint to cover the entire canvas. And I think I got just enough here. Easy peasy. Make sure I get all my corners. I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, wipe off the excess, and just go over the entire canvas just to make sure I don't have any puddles or, excess acrylic paint on there, because I do want it to dry quickly so I can continue to the next step. And what you can do is you can pause the video and watch paint dry, or you can take a hair dryer on the cool setting and just go over your entire canvas, and that will definitely dry it quicker if that's what you'd like to do. I'm in the midst of making some bread, so I'm actually going to let the paint dry normally and pause the video, and I will be back. Now that my canvas is dry, I'm going to apply some white paint. I'm going to take my dollar store paint and pour just a little bit onto my palette. You don't need a lot. And you can use a palette, or you can use a paper plate or a regular plate, bowl, whatever you have. This is where the paper towel comes in. I want you to scrunch it all up. Just scrunch it all up. And then open it up again. And then kind of lightly scrunch it. So you've got a whole bunch of creases in there. And I'm going to dip that into my white paint, and I'm going to apply it onto my canvas. Now for my composition, I've decided that I want this area here to be very bright because I'm going to put the wolf silhouette there. And there's going to be a spot down here that's going to be very bright as well, because that's where Little Red Riding Hood is going to be. So keep applying this. And it looks kind of cool, doesn't it? It looks like foliage. You can put as much or as little as you want. As Bob Ross would say, this is your world. This is your painting. Do what you like with it and have fun with it. Okay, now I need a little bit of white down here so that when I paint in Little Red Riding Hood, we'll really be able to see her with the red. And I want this area to be a little more white as well, where the wolf silhouette is going to be. And everything else is just background, really. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. See how easy that is? So we're going to let that dry, and I'm actually going to do the little cheating method this time. I'm going to grab my hair dryer and dry that. Okay, that's all dry. Now, what I'm going to do is take some of my black paint. Let me see here. I've got my palette, and I'm going to pour some of that black paint just into the white. Doesn't matter really. Just a little bit like that. And I'm going to take my number 4 round brush, really load it up with paint, and I'm going to create some trees. I'm going to start at the top very lightly and then make them bigger as I go down. Add more paint to your brush if you need to, all the way down to the bottom. And I'm going to do that randomly throughout my painting, keeping in mind that my wolf is going to be here and Little Red Riding Hood is going to be there. So I'm going to start here with another one, and they don't have to be straight, you know. Nothing in nature really is straight if you think about it. Nice big trunks down here. And remember to go all the way down to your masking tape line. It may be hidden right now because of the black acrylic, but make sure you get, you know, your trees all the way up to the top and all the way down to the bottom. I make one here. That one has sort of two trees from the same trunk. There we go. I love Bob Ross's method. So easy. You know, there's no fussiness. It's just really kind of bare bones, and he's so much fun to watch and listen to as well. His voice is mesmerizing. I've been told kind of the same thing, which I think is a real compliment. All right, let's see. Do I want to put any more? Not just yet, but what I am going to do, I'm just rinsing off my brush. I'm going to take this number 2. I've got paint all over my fingers already. I'm going to take my number 2 brush. I'm just wetting it slightly so that it's, because it dried kind of hard. I didn't wash it properly, which is a huge no-no. And I'm going to draw some branches. Not draw, paint some branches. Just on all the trees. A few little kind of squiggly little branches here and there. You don't have to put branches. Your trees can be completely straight without any branch on them. Just do whatever makes you happy. Painting is really, really fun and relaxing, so let's make sure it always is. Perfectionism causes painting to lose its fun. All right. Did I tell you this was going to be easy? It's definitely easy. I'm not going to wash off my brush because I might use it. Now, the next thing to do is to paint in the wolf. Now, I want you to look at this. I drew this wolf on a piece of paper. For some odd reason, I had such a hard time drawing a wolf. I don't know what it is. So what I did was I drew it, I erased, I drew, I erased. Finally, I got it to the shape that I wanted, and then I cut it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on my page where I want it, just like that. And I'm thinking of taking just a black marker and drawing around it. Actually, I'm going to move it slightly back, a little bit back, just like that. Because red's going to be here, and the wolf is looking at her here. So let's see if I can do this. Some of my black paint is still wet, so I might get more black paint on me, but that's okay. That's why we can wash paint off. Okay, I think that should be good. Yeah, you see the outline of the wolf there? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my same number 2 brush, and I'm just going to paint that in. I'm going to be really careful. And I can't talk right now while I'm doing this because I can't multitask when I'm doing details. So. Now I do have that liner brush. This is what it looks like, but when you wet it, you can shape it and it's amazing. It comes to a great point and you can do real detail work with that. I'm going to use the liner brush just to make sure that I don't mess up the ears and the face here. And I suppose you could have used marker to fill this in. Make it a mixed media piece. All right. I'm just going to grab my number 2 brush and make sure that I got all the black in there. Okay, I think that looks like a wolf. I hope so. I'm just going to rinse off my liner brush. And I'm going to go in, can you see my palette brush, my palette here? Don't want to, there we go. I'm going to take that red paint, a little bit of that tube paint, and I'm going to put it in one of the sections there. I don't need much. I've got my liner brush that I've washed off. Take all the black out of there. And I'm just putting a little bit of water into that red because I want it to be a little fine so that I can outline Red Riding Hood. Let's see if I can do this. It's a little too round. Hold on. Oops. All right. Let me take my number 2 brush, just getting all the black off of that, and I'm going to fill that in and see how that looks. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool. Let's put a little more red in there. I'm not really happy with the wolf's ears. I'm going to take, I don't know if I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here, but let's see. I might have to redo it, but I'm going to take a little bit of white on that liner brush, and I'm going to see if I can fix, because I feel like the ears are too long, or the shape is wrong or something. I don't want it to look like a horse. Let me see if I can fix this. I need a little bit more of that white paint. Okay, I've got a little bit of that white paint because right now it's not looking like a wolf. So let's see if I can fix this. I've pulled up a reference photo here. There, that's a bit better. Right. I'm just kind of dabbing. There, I think that looks more like a wolf now, except let's get this. hope I didn't ruin it there. I tend to do these things. I'm taking a little black right now, and I'm going to fix that up a little. I don't know, what do you think? Did I ruin it? I think the snout could be just a little bigger. Hold on, I took out too much there. Okay, that looks good. Okay, the back is okay. Wasn't I just preaching about not being a perfectionist? I'm pretty sure I was just preaching about that. All right. Just taking a little bit of the white, because this area is too big. There. Okay, I think that looks more like a wolf. And I'm going to take my number 2 brush, and I'm putting a little bit more of that red onto my palette, because right now it's a very thin wash because I put some water in there. I just want a little bit of a thicker acrylic. And I know that red is still wet, but I'm going to add a little more paint. I'm just tapping it in. Tap, tap, tap. And her cape kind of just falls into the distance here. Into the black down there. And I'll take a little bit of that black. And my brush is very, very wet, so I just wanted to put a little bit of black around here. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. That's the painting, my friends. So let's take the masking tape off, my favorite part. Let me move things out of the way here. And hope that I didn't wet it too much to rip my paper. I love this because it's nice and framed out. All right, there it is. I'm just going to move this underneath so you can get a nicer look. Let's see if I can, I'll stand up so I can get this straight here. And there it is. It's still a little wet, but you get the idea. I hope that you enjoyed this very simple Bob Ross style painting today with acrylic paints. I have Little Red Riding Hood on the brain right now. I did a video for my Rain Francis Art for Kids channel, and I did a Little Red Riding Hood, and I read the fairy tale as well, so that was a lot of fun, and that inspired me to do this painting today. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you've done this painting, and I would really like to see it. If you're on Instagram, all of my information is below in the description section and in the about section of this channel. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.